Have you made any plans for summer yet? Travel experts expect a continuing rebound thanks to pent-up demand, and some of the early signals are good. But state leaders won't leave anything to chance. This week, Vermont launched a $1 million advertising campaign targeting social media, national websites, and print advertising. They want to sell Vermont as a magical destination this summer and fall. The tagline is called "A Place All Its Own." This morning, a conversation about the Vermont travel outlook for 2022.
Joining us this morning, Heather Pelham, the Commissioner of Travel and Marketing for Vermont. Welcome to NBC5 In Depth.
Thank you very much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, we're very pleased to have you. You know, something about sunshine and 85 degrees gets everybody in the mood for summer. I'm wondering what kind of season you anticipate for summer visitors to our region.
Well, we are very optimistic about the summer travelers that we will see this year. As you said, nothing like warm weather to get folks thinking about traveling. And we know that there is this pent-up demand for travel. We've all had to make adjustments over the last few years. So now more than ever, folks are ready to get outside, enjoy all that Vermont has to offer. So yes, cautiously optimistic, but I'm really looking forward to a very strong season.
There are different data points and clues that we look for, but one is advance reservations to our state park system. You know, it's middle of May, so I would think we'd know something from that. What are you hearing?
We are hearing that state park reservations are very strong. We have, some holiday weekends are definitely sold out. So if you are planning to visit state parks this summer, please go ahead and make those reservations now. That would be great once your dates are set. It's nice for us to see that as an option for our residents, and also nice to see out-of-state visitors and Canadian folks joining us once again. So that's another great sign.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about Canadians whose travel restrictions now have ended. So this will be the first summer, I guess, since 2019 where Canadians who have boats on Lake Champlain, for example, can finally take the plastic off and look underneath. I mean, they're a major part of our annual but summer visitors, aren't they?
They really are. And, summer is our strongest season for visitation, number one. But as you said, it's been quite a long time since we've been able to invite our friends from the north, longer than, we may even realize. So especially in the northern part of the state, they definitely have a large impact on our tourism numbers. About 5% of visitation overall in a normal year comes from our Canadian visitors. Just for context, we usually see about 13 million visitors come to Vermont over the course of the year.
And what percentage is Canadian?
Canadian is about 5%, but that translates to about 700,000 visitors. So it's not insignificant by any means.
No, it's funny. I thought it might be a little higher. Speaking of Canadians, some of my associates are a bit shocked at some of the hotel room rates that they are finding. They are accustomed to coming down to Burlington and getting deals. They're price sensitive because of the exchange rate, which right now favors Americans. But I'm wondering about that. I checked middle of June, the Hilton in downtown Burlington, $388 a night and only 5 rooms left. Even the Motel 6 will cost you $170 that weekend. Middle of July, the Hilton's up to $495 a night. Hotel Vermont next door, $464. Rutland downtown, still you'll pay $224 at the Hampton middle of July. And down south in Manchester, my old hometown, the Equinox you'd expect $551 a night middle of July. But even, sort of the more modest accommodations like the Palmer House, $305. I mean, what do you think is driving that, Commissioner?
Well, I think that we're seeing inflationary pressures throughout the economy. And, just as, ordinary citizens are feeling that in their wallet, say at the gas pump and so forth, Costs are rising for our hospitality businesses as well, whether that be due to supply chain shortages and the cost of food. We've all experienced that as well. We still have a workforce shortage, so labor costs are going up. As much as we are optimistic and looking forward to a really strong summer, our hospitality businesses are still trying to recover from all the losses that they did suffer through COVID. So, my guess is there's just pressures all around in terms of making sure that the bottom line still works out. We certainly hope that does not deter any of our visitors, and we do have a wide range of, lodging options here in the state. One thing that I would suggest to folks is just, be kind, understand that everyone is doing their best, and looking forward to just enjoying that time with friends and family.
So are rising labor costs driving room rates, do you think? Is that the theory?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily point out any one pressure. I think that there are multiple pressures in the economy right now, like I mentioned, in terms of also the cost of goods. But sure, labor issues are part of that. Again, there's pent up demand. So, it's not just that there may be rising labor costs, but, hotels and other attractions may not be able to open to 100% if they can't get the staff they need. So then that's an inventory pressure as well.
So do you have any indication from past history here that gasoline now at a record high, does that discourage visitors is it a discernible impact? I mean, obviously Vermonters are sensitive to it, but are visitors?
Well, I think it will. From the data we're seeing, we do get data from the U.S. Travel Association. Rising gas prices are affecting folks' decision-making process, but they're not necessarily deterring them from traveling. So what we're seeing is that folks may not be flying, or they may cut down in other areas in terms of their travel spending. Maybe they're not spending as much as on retail or so forth. And they would be choosing more car trips instead of, longer trips. But we're not seeing that many people cancel. I think I saw a figure, maybe only about 10% of folks might cancel their plans altogether. That said, we're still seeing over 90% of folks who plan on traveling this summer. Vermont is lucky in the sense that we are within half a day's drive of almost 80 million folks between New York, Boston, Montreal. So even if folks are favoring a shorter trip, that still does position Vermont well.
What about air travel? The Burlington Airport seems to be going gangbusters, but I don't know if that's Vermonters leaving on vacation or visitors arriving.
I mean, it's great to see the increase in volume of air travel. Just to having folks out about, whether they're coming in, going out, is really positive for all the economic impacts that tourism brings to our economy. Some of these trends that we're seeing are really nationwide in terms of, again, these inflationary pressures. But here in Vermont, it's just wonderful to see, our downtown's bustling again. People are coming in and out, our local retailers, restaurants, and so forth. They really depend on that out-of-state visitation. So it's wonderful to see that we're at that point now in our recovery that folks are out and about.
It sure is. Heather Pelham is the Commissioner of Travel for the state of Vermont. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.